Welcome to my DPR IAN So Beautiful interpretation essay. Just to state the obvious, this is only my interpretation and it may be partially or entirely wrong. This is however what I took from the visuals I was presented with. Let me start by saying that I distinguish three protagonists in the MV. To make it clear, I will refer to them using three different names. The first one is Mito, that's the dark character, he's got his torso tattooed. The second one I will call Lian. That's the shirtless one, without the tattoos on his torso. The last one I will refer to as Christian. That's the one wearing a t-shirt. Okay, so let's move on to the music video itself.
Before I change again, remind me of the time when I still remembered. I fulfill a comment.
The narrator, Christian, mentions some kind of a change. Then the first thing we see is a painting hanging on a wall. This indicates that what we're about to see is art. As the narrator says, I feel it coming, the color of the art changes from warmish to cold. Simultaneously a similar image flashes the screen. All that is accompanied by a sinister thunder. We're now entering that art's realm. As the beginning montage starts, the lens briefly focuses on a book. The story we're about to see, truly is one for the books. The usual credit is mirrored. This indicates that the whole apartment we see is the mirror image of the real thing. And in a world maybe? Christian looks like he's getting out of the grave, kind of like a zombie, but instead of being covered in soil he is soaking wet. It seems like he has almost drowned. He is climbing up the countertop. There are some plates on it. Now we are finally served with whatever he's been cooking for so long. Distorted melody starts playing. He hastily takes off his t-shirt. From underneath Christian's clothes, or skin, if you will, Ian makes his appearance. He looks rather disoriented, hyper even. He looks at his hands as if he was examining them. He tries to establish where he is and who he is. We often see that in movies, when a character undergoes some kind of a transformation, it's the hands that they look at first. Ian has these flashes where he sees Christian and some other unknown figure. The montage foreshadows things that are going to be revealed in the MV. When the actual music starts, we meet Mito. He's dark and calm. His reality is black and white. He's not easy on the eye. He is haunting but at the same time full of expression talent art. The title of the song quickly flashes the screen. It's misspelled though, so beautiful. BU is the motto Christian *mu, B.U, lives by. Mito rests on the couch. Could it be that Mito has fallen asleep?
I think I got my sight for you.
Get confused.
Come get your funky love story. I love it when the skies can't sleep. I left a message encased in me. So bye-bye, so bye-bye.
A flawless ending.
So beautiful.
We are now transported back to Ian. It appears he has just woken up in the middle of the street. This scene is very similar to the picture with warmish colors from the very beginning of the video. Ian looks here like he's kind of showing off. Once he notices us, he models for us, lets us admire him. We can even hear the characteristic wolf whistling like sound once he faces us fully and we can see his bare torso. Over and over the yellowish sky is being lit with bluish flashes, echoing a similar change the picture from the beginning underwent. Ian stumbles slightly and starts spinning. The smash cut shows us spinning Mito. That's when we learn Ian and Mito are the same person. We briefly see floating Christian. Mito mirrors his movements. It means not only Ian has some kind of access to Christian, but so does Mito. Mito's clothes, the jacket and the trousers have X-ray prints on them. Bones are the things that are under the skin, so Mito, just like Ian, is a being that lives under Christian's skin.
You're so
Then comes my personal favorite scene. The prolonged close-up shot. Mito stares at us intensely. His left eye, the creative one, is mounted onto his hand. Left eye is connected with the right brain hemisphere, which is responsible for our creativeness. It's gruesome, but it allows him to look at things from a different perspective. Mito starts of looking kind of miserable here. As if he was silently asking for help. His expression, very slowly, and ever so slightly, changes. Up to the point where the hand is gone and we see his eerie smirk. That scene reminds me of two things. 1, this shot made me remember that iconic scene from Split, where Dennis reveals to actually be the Horde. It all happens in a split second and solely through his facial expression. James McAvoy was brilliant in that scene, and so was Christian Yu in his.
I know you are someone who cares for Kevin. You are not evil to me. You were necessary. Dennis, is that you?
They keep calling us the Horde.
2, that smirk has Joker-ish quality to it. Heath Ledger went to great lengths to create his rendition of Joker. As we know from the man himself, Christian Yu also put in a lot of work to literally transform his body for this MV. Mito closes his eyes. Maybe he becomes dormant again.
Let's take a trip down a dark place, baby. Look for me now, I'm not that crazy. Let's talk about what makes you happy, 'cause I know I'm calling for you.
Change of scenery. Christian is back to his original self. Again, we don't know how he got where he is now. He could have woken up. The scene starts with Christian lighting up an infinite match. We also hear that sound in the actual song. I really love when songs incorporate real-life sounds. The infinite match is a survival equipment. It always works, even when it gets sweat. Christian did sort of survive the inner turmoil that we have witnessed so far. The infinite match is sparked 3 times in total in the MV. Each time it sparks, a different persona is shown, first Mito, then Ian, and now we finally see Christian, who was the one sparking it all along. Christian is now fully aware of both Ian and Mito's existence. For this reason, Ian finds himself in Mito's reigning room. In the meantime, Christian walks down the corridor with many doors. We hear lyrics, "Let's take a trip down a dark place, baby," which means, let's explore the insides of my mind. In one of the rooms that Christian was passing by, we catch a glimpse of a womanly figure. Mito and Ian are showing signs of struggle. Mito is smiling. It appears he won.
Got your funky love story. I love it when the skies can't sleep. I left a message encased in me.
So bye-bye, a flawless ending. So beautiful. You're so...
Ian manages to escape. He finds himself in the woods. He looks like he's been in a fight. He's exhausted and scarred. Could he have been fighting with Mito? He managed to escape, but he's not out of the woods. He's different now. It appears that now it's he himself that is mirrored. Mito looks angry. He doesn't want to give up. During their angle, he grew stronger, while Ian seems weaker.
My love is dropping, color
Christian tries to run away from the situation. He's the one distressed now. He's blinded by the lights. He struggles but finally finds himself in a seemingly safe place, a bathroom. In movies people often seek shelter in bathrooms when something threatens them. Christian is faced with the woman we saw earlier. Out of nowhere she appears in front of him. She might be a muse, music and inspiration art. She starts of being affectionate towards Christian, and so is he towards her. Shortly after that she pushes him away and he falls into a bathtub which turns into a huge body of water. Much so like in that one scene in Avengers, where Black Widow kisses Bruce Banner but ultimately she needs Hulk so she pushes Bruce off the edge.
We gotta move.
You're not gonna turn green?
I've got a compelling reason not to lose my cool.
I adore you. But I need the other guy.
Anyway, back to the MV.
Come get your funky love story.
While in the water, surrounded by beautiful lights, Christian looks at his hand. He undergoes a transformation. He grabs his head and a smash cut takes him back to the apartment. Christian is now spinning while still holding his head. Another quick smash cut reveals Mito who finishes spinning. This whole segment made me think of Kanye West's lyrics, "The most beautiful thoughts are always besides the darkest."
I love it when the skies can't sleep. I left a message encased in me. So bye-bye, flawless ending. Come get your funky love story. I love it when the skies can't sleep. I left a message encased in me. So bye-bye, flawless ending. So beautiful.
Henceforth Ian is nowhere to be seen. It's only Christian and Mito now. The latter one looks like he's celebrating. At the end Christian walks down the same road Ian walked at the beginning but the colors are now cold bluish. We're at the point of the story where the narrator said he feels the change coming again. Christian got no choice but to walk right into it. He ends up spiraling out of control. The room is normal, it's even sunny outside. Now it's Christian who is mirrored. The song ending, spiraling Christian is both wearing a t-shirt with artwork that kind of imitates Mito's torso tattoos and is mirrored just like Ian from the woods. The post-ending scene serves as the introduction of the next video song. The phone is ringing. New song is sampled. This has a similar purpose to Liv asking over the radio, "Is anybody out there?" In Cream's Color Drive MV before problems start playing. There are three things that caught my attention in the last shot. 1. There is a floating piece of a page from a book. What we have just watched is only a piece of the whole story. Will the next story be a sequel or prequel of the movie we've just seen? 2. There is a Mondo newspaper lying in the water. The news about DPR will be heard by the whole world. 3. Something is about to go down. An individual who appears to be Mito gets the gun. Final thoughts: since the first and the last person we see in the MV is Christian, I assume he's the main protagonist and it's within him that this eternal battle between Mito and Ian takes place. Kind of similar to the one between Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Christian is the vessel for Yin, Mito, and Yang, Ian. The distinction between Ian and Mito was not only visual. You could even hear it in the way Christian sings. Mito is dangerous. He always mentions the flawless ending. You can find beauty in the darkness but it can consume you too. Too much to one side and the scale is tipped, thrown out of balance. Mito is the most artsy one. He is missing his left eye just like Van Gogh was missing his left ear. There are big mirrors in the apartment. The biggest one of them is situated behind the countertop. Christian Ian first emerged from behind that countertop. The story seems to be infinitely looped. It's all very fluid who is who because in the end they all are one person. You can't have one without the others. The TV has no signal. It's disconnected. Let me end this with a little dare. If this is any good, Christian will treat me to an Americano next time I'm visiting Seoul and we will talk about it some more. If it's no good, I will treat Christian to an Americano next time I'm in Seoul and he will explain me the parts I didn't get. Deal?